Mr. Rodel Manglingot. That was an impressive, beautiful introduction indeed.
We would like to call on NCMA, one of our NCMA facilitators, our Diamond Advisor, to introduce to us the next speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Mr. Rodel Manglingot.
Thank you so much. Alright, good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce to you our next speaker today. She is a retired clinical research scientist, a former professor and lecturer at the Philippine Women's University. She earned her academic degree in medical technology, public health administration, parasitology, and entomology from prestigious institutions in the Philippines, the University of the Philippines, and the Institute for Medical Research in Malaysia. She also holds a medical technology license in California, USA, and has shared her expertise as medical professional in various countries, including Singapore, Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, and the United States of America. What makes her journey even more incredible in her humble beginning as a caregiver. In her early years, a role she continues to embrace today with her family, showing that caregiving is not just a profession, but a lifelong commitment of love and service. It is my great privilege to present to you a mother, a grandmother, and an outstanding member of our community, no other than, please give round of applause, Ms. Madam Tess Eduardo.
Thank you, Mr. Rodel Manglingot. That was an impressive, beautiful introduction indeed. Good afternoon, everyone. Salamat tinghali sa mga. Magandang tanghali po sa inyong lahat. There are four kinds of people in the world. Those who have been caregivers, those who are currently caregivers, those who will be caregivers, and those who will need a caregiver. These were the words of Rosalind Carter, the previous former First Lady of the United States of America. One of the greatest joy of a caregiving job is the opportunity to make a tangible difference in the lives of those in need. A caregiver may be called an aide, a companion, an attendant, a personal care assistant, or support worker. He can be a paid or unpaid person who helps an individual with activities of daily living. He is a person who has taken on the responsibility of looking after someone who is unable to care for himself or herself due to illness, frailty, disability, or a member of partners, or just really simply sick. The caregivers help clients with everyday activities, from cooking and cleaning to completing errands, tending to clients' social and emotional needs by joining them in activities and providing companionship. Empathy and understanding are absolutely necessary. Being there to listen, sharing precious moments, making a difference, and encouraging self-care. Again, empathy, patience, and adaptability are the three main strengths that distinguish exceptional caregivers. By embodying these qualities, caregivers not only meet the physical needs of their clients, but also provide emotional support, foster meaningful connections, and enhance overall well-being. The heart of caregiving lies in empathy and compassion. As caregivers tend to individuals dealing with significant physical and emotional challenges, they must do so with deep understanding and kind-heartedness. A sense of empathy helps carers understand the feelings and needs of their wards. There are 5 crucial responsibilities of caregivers: doing housework, providing activities, maintaining hygiene, running errands, managing medications. This brings me to short stories I'd like to share with you as my own experience. Years ago, I was 11 years old. I was given the task of tending to my sick father who was suffering from cancer. He was bedridden. Of course, as an 11-year-old, you just have to accept what the elders tell you what to do. So I tend to him, feed him, make porridge for him every day, change him, wash him, give him medications, and so on and so forth. He was given 3 months to live, but I extended that to 11 months. He was so sick, and one day, he just closed his eyes, never to open them again. And so, on the second day, he peacefully and quietly passed away. Of course, I cried. What do? You cry and cry and cry. But that's about it. I was so relieved with the fact that my father had passed away because now I could rest. 11 months of taking care of him was very tedious, very terrible for an 11-year-old girl. And after that, 20 or 25 years after, I was married and have my own children. I went to one country to another and worked as a professional. One day I decided to go to America. And in there, I took the licensure exam for medical technology, and while waiting for that results, I worked as a caregiver. Again, I worked as a caregiver. Working in a nursing home, tending to patients. You have to carry the patient from the bed to the wheelchair and push her to the bathroom and just bathe her. It was a very, very tough job. And it went on and on and on. And later on, after 3 months, I quit. I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't tahan. You know? Couldn't tahan. It's too tough. I moved on to another couple, an American couple. The guy was 85 years old and the lady was 80 years old. I tend to them, as usual, giving medication, bringing them to hospitals for their checkups, and so on and so forth. And one day, when my my exam results are out, I told them, I have to say goodbye. I have to say my farewell. And before they let me go, they told me, you have to learn how to drive. You cannot go from point A to point B in America without knowing how to drive. So I said, how do I do that? So they paid for my driving lesson. I passed it, and I took the driving license. And off I go. Of course, I was very humbled. I was very grateful. I was very thankful. And I hugged them and hugged them. But before I left again, they gave me an envelope. That envelope contains funds, money. You know what he told me? You have to buy a second-hand car in order for you to drive. And then you have to pay for your 6 months apartment rental in order for you to survive. Of course, kindness begets kindness. That's how the world works. Kindness begets kindness. For all of you students here in caregiving job, I wish you good luck. You have to have the compassion and the kindness. Remember, we only were given 2 hands. The first hand, you have to help yourselves. The other hand, you have to help others. That's how it works. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Tess Eduardo. It was an inspiring speech that you've shared to us. A very true-to-life story. A very inspiring. And it says that being in a healthcare or caregiver industry, it is an honor, not only in our professional, but also it applies to our personal life. So ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause once again to Madam Tess Eduardo. So because of that now, we would like to give you an appreciation award to be given by our NCMA founder, Mr. Teddy Abigailo Jr. and our very own NCMA president to come up on stage to give the award. This flag of appreciation, this certificate is proudly presented to Madam Tess Eduardo, guest of speaker in appreciation of your generous support and distinguished presence, which made the NCMA Reborn 2025 8th-year anniversary celebration a memorable success. Awarded this today for 10th day of September 2025. A round of applause, please.
Thank you, Madam Tess Eduardo.